Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel today. And in today's video, I want to explain to you about the last job that I had. And so I've had several people ask me about it, and I did say that I would do a video on it. So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to go back to the beginning when I got the job and then start from there and go forward. I was initially contacted by a lady who I went to church with. She sent me a text message and she asked me if I would be interested in helping her with her handicapped son. She needed someone that could come over and clean a couple times a week and maybe do a bit of shopping for him. And I told her, yeah, that might be something I was interested in. So she said, well, let's set up a meeting and go to his apartment. You can meet him, and then you can see how big his place is and see if you're interested in him. So we set a time to meet, went to his house. He lived in the housing project, small little one-bedroom apartment. Had a pretty good sized bedroom, pretty good sized living room, small kitchen, and a pretty average sized bathroom. About what you'd find in most public housing. And I met her son. He was really nice. I didn't have to do any laundry, but she wanted me to just come and basically dust, sweep and mop the floors, wash up the dishes, and things like that. I said, okay, that would be fine. So we worked out an agreement on a price, and I was going to work for 2 hours each time I came, and I was going to start off coming 2 days a week. And then after I got everything under control, I would only have to come once a week. She had been doing this herself, and she had a brother in a nursing home, and then she had a husband and a house of her own to take care of, and then this, and it was just becoming too overwhelming, and that's why she asked me if I could step in and help her out. So, okay, so that'd give me a little bit of extra money. So before we left, I set a date for me to come and to work the first time. Well, I showed up that first day, and I knocked on the door. He let me in. He asked me if I want to sit down and talk for a while, and I said, no, I just want to go ahead and get started on it. So I went ahead and worked the first 2 hours. Mainly all I did that first 2 hours was the dishes. He had both sinks piled up with dishes, and they needed to be washed and put away. After I washed the first sink full and piled them in a strainer, I didn't have room to put any more because they were stacked up. So I left the rest of the dirty dishes in the sink, and I went and I worked on the bedroom. I dusted in there and folded clothes and picked up and swept the floor, and then I did a little bit in the bathroom, and 2 hours was gone. So I went to him. He was sleeping in the chair, and I woke him up, and I said, I'm finished. I'm going to go now, and I'll see you on my next visit, which was going to be that Friday. This was on a Monday. I was going to come back that Friday. So he said, okay, here, I want to help out. He gave me $5. And I said, no, your mom's taking care of paying me. He said, well, I want to contribute as well. I said, okay. So I took the $5, and I was on my way to go to Walmart and the Dollar Tree for myself. So I took the $5, and I went to the Dollar Tree, and I bought things that I were going to take back and use in his apartment to help get it organized, because his cabinets were all jilted around. He had food mixed in with dishes and pots and pans, and I was going to straighten it out and put like one cabinet with food and then put dishes in another one and organize all of his utensils and his little packets of gravy and Kool-Aid and tuna and stuff like that. So I bought a couple of baskets. I got a sink strainer because he didn't have a sink strainer. I spent the $5 buying back items to take on my next visit to use in his apartment. So then, in the meantime, between every time I was coming back, him and I were texting and talking back and forth. Well, he canceled the next appointment. He said he forgot he had a doctor's appointment that day, and so we rescheduled it. And then on the next one, when it was getting ready to come up, he called and he text messaged. He never called. He texted me. And he said that he wasn't feeling good. Could we reschedule? So we rescheduled. This went on for quite some time. I canceled once myself because I had a dentist appointment. And then another time I was feeling sick and I canceled. But most of the appointments, he was canceling on me because he wasn't feeling good or he had to go to the doctor. So I set up an appointment on a Saturday. And I thought, well, that'll work better for us because he won't have to cancel for doctor's appointments because he was constantly forgetting he had doctor's appointments. Well, on the Saturday that I was supposed to go, he contacts me and says, don't come to clean today. Saturdays is the only time I have to catch up on my sleep. Well, I was a little bit kind of puzzled about that because he was handicapped, he was disabled, he did not work, he was home all the time. He had a car, he did drive, but he didn't work, and he was there all the time. And I'm thinking, why does he need to catch up with his sleep on the weekends? When he's there Monday through Friday, he can sleep. So anyway, we went ahead and rescheduled it. Well, this went on the whole entire month. And then the next time I scheduled an appointment, I scheduled it on a Friday. And that week, like 4 days before I was supposed to go that Friday, I was sending him text messages and chatting back and forth. Because we had initially had been texting. He would send me a text and I would answer him back. We talked about movies and food we like, and we talked about his illness and, stuff like that. That wasn't nothing unusual. So every time I sent him a text, he would answer it back. Well, about 4 days before I was supposed to come back this next time, I sent him a text. I didn't get a reply. I sent him a text the next day and didn't get a reply. This continued the rest of the week. The day before I was supposed to go, that Friday, I sent him a text and I said, I'll be there tomorrow to clean. And still didn't get no answer back from him. So that Friday morning, and I texted him and said, I'm on my way over there to clean. I didn't hear anything back from him. So I showed up at his apartment and I knocked on the door, no answer. I knocked twice or maybe 3 times, didn't get no answer. And the door was locked from the inside, the screen was locked. And I didn't hear any noise inside or anything. So I went out to the car and I immediately called his mom. I didn't text her or anything, I called her. And I told her I'm here to work and he's not answering the door. I'm not bothered by not getting to work, but I am a little concerned because I haven't heard anything from him for the last 3 or 4 days. And I'm concerned that he might be in there hurt and unable to get to the door or use his phone or anything. And I left her a voicemail. She didn't answer her phone either, and I left her a voicemail. I said, will you please call me back when you get this voice message and let me know what's going on. So I hung up and I went ahead and went to Walmart and got my groceries and took care of the rest of my business for that day. Well, I never heard nothing back from her the rest of that day, or not even ever. And then I got to thinking, she comes over there once a week to do his laundry. So all these weeks that he had been contacting me and telling me not to come because he had doctor's appointments and he was sick and different things, she was still coming every week to do his laundry. And I thought, well, she's been there this week to do his laundry, so she knows if he's okay or whatever. So I don't really know what's going on. She didn't text me back and he never replied to me. So I let that month go by. Then the next month, I didn't send him any text messages or anything, and I waited to see if she was going to go ahead and pay me for the 2 hours that I'd worked, or if he was going to contact me and tell me he was in the hospital or had an emergency or what was going on, and I never heard nothing. So at the end of that month, I sent her a message, a text message, and I said, can you please, what I said was, can you pay me for the 2 hours that I worked? You could just bring it by my house and leave it on my porch on the little gray table out there. Meanwhile, I haven't heard anything for the whole last month and all this month from either one of them, but they still owe me the money. Well, eventually she sends me a text message back and says, what's your address? So I send her my address back and I tell her, I was just concerned about Jason and wondered what was going on. And she sends me back a message and said she was hoping that he and I could get together and get on a schedule, a regular schedule, but that he was on so much medicine that he was sleepy and loopy all the time and couldn't really get anything done. And that was it. And she never said anything about, can you come back on this day or we'll set up another schedule. She just really asked where my address was, and that was it. So several weeks went by, and she never brought the money and put it on the porch. And then eventually I get a envelope in the mailbox from her. She had mailed the money. And I figured the reason for that was whatever had happened between them and me, she was too embarrassed to come to my house and put it on the porch for fear maybe that I would hear her and open up the door, that the dogs would bark, and I would open up the door and she'd be face to face with me. Because I know that she come to town to do her grocery shopping and pay her bills. They lived out in the country, but I know she had to come in town to buy her groceries, so she could have just as easily swung by and left it on the porch. But she used a postage stamp and envelope to mail the money to me. So I sent her a message and I told her, I just got the check in the mail from you. Thank you. And if you should need me again, just contact me. And that was the end of it. I haven't heard nothing back from her. She hasn't contacted me saying, we need you to come back or anything. So I really don't understand what happened with this situation. It started off like it was going to be a really good thing, just working 4 hours a week, 2 hours each day. That would have been perfect for me. And it would have gave me a little bit of extra money to pay on bills and stuff for the month. But so y'all tell me, what are your thoughts on the situation? And one of the text messages he had sent me early on, when he was sick, and he said, please don't come today, I'm sick. But we really appreciate you helping my mom out like this because she's so busy. Please don't leave me. That was what he said in the text. Please don't leave me. Like he really needed me to come and help him do it. And the only thing that I could think about maybe was when I had sent her a text message, had left that I had sent her a text message at one time and told her that he had asked me not to come repeatedly because he was sick or had a doctor's appointment, and that I made an appointment on a Saturday because I knew he wouldn't have a doctor's appointment. But he canceled that by telling me that was the only day he had to sleep. And I told her, I said I was kind of confused about that because he doesn't work and he's home all the time, and I wondered why he couldn't sleep Monday through Friday. So I'm wondering now if maybe she, during one of the days that she went to do his laundry, if she mentioned that to him and that made him mad at me for saying that. Maybe he didn't want his mom to know that he had said that to me. Or maybe that upset him that I said that, kind of maybe like insinuating that he was lazy, and he wasn't. But that, he's on a lot of medicine. I realize that. He has depression and all kinds of things wrong with him, and it causes him to sleep a lot. I understand that. I have depression myself, and there's days when I don't do anything except sleep. So I did understand that. But anyhow, that job ended. I had been contacted since by another person about a different job, and this one ended up ended before it ever started. Maybe in another video I'll talk about that one. It's not really no big deal, but anyway, that's what happened with this last job. I got to work one day for 2 hours, and since that time has come, I have posted on Facebook and different places that I am still seeking employment, working either babysitting children or staying with elderly people overnight or just for a few hours or staying for the whole week or just on weekends and holidays. I even also advertised on Facebook that if somebody had a repair person coming to their house and they didn't want to take off from work to wait, because you know how they say we'll be there between 8 and 5 or 8 and 4. I know when I had the internet person come here, their appointment date was anywhere between 8 and 12, which meant I had to be home. And I posted on Facebook, if you need somebody to come and stay at your house to wait on a repairman so you don't have to miss work, contact me. But I haven't heard anything back. So that's it for this video. Thank you so very much for coming and viewing this video. Y'all remember, life is short. Make it the best you can. And y'all come back and see us at any time. Bye for this one.